So you have that, but again, I'm a little skeptical over stuff, especially this. But if it is, it might be just residual energy. Just someone just used to doing things, and now they're gone, and they keep doing the same things from an afterlife or something like that. And most hauntings is easily explainable. House settling, or other natural things, or is this someone's just pulling a prank on somebody, trying to get a rise out of someone, or try to get money out of people. So, which is we're going to talk about in this case of Borley Rectory. Some people believe that some of the investigators or some of the people who claim that they experience hauntings in this rectory, or on the grounds of the church, were just trying to get profit or try to get attention to themselves. And some people who would swear up and down like this happened. And maybe something did, or maybe it's something natural to kind of spook people. But there are people that are out there that will try to get fame or glory, or some people who might try to get attention, or some people who might be mentally ill. I mean,
that's the thing. Like for people that believe that they saw something, or they heard something, or they experienced something, if there is some mental health issue component of it, how can we disprove that, right?
Right.
The person making the claim believes that it's so real and it happened to them, but it's impossible to disprove, right?
Right.
And for those cases, it's an unsolved case at that point. There's really nothing else you can
do. Yeah, and of course there's other people that experience the same or similar things, and how do you disprove or prove that? I mean you look at television now. I mean, like I was having this conversation with another friend of mine. Like, the Travel Channel, right? Like when it started to talk about travel and going to different places, like, hey, come look at this, or look at summer rentals. And then it turned into, oh, let's go places and eat. Like with shows like Man versus Food, which is gluttony, or greatest places to eat and stuff. Then it turned into Ghost Central.
Oh, I
Ghost
didn't know
Channel. That. Yeah, it's nothing but Ghost Channel. I mean, now, yeah, because it's Halloween. Like, okay, but you turn it on, it's Ghost Adventures, or Ghost. The people, half of the team that used to be on Ghost Hunters. Was it Ghost Hunters on the Sci-Fi Channel? Yeah, Ghost Hunters, or Scariest Places on Earth, or The Dead Files, or Paranormal Caught on Tape. You just like, yeah, I understand people watching. Like, I enjoy watching those shows occasionally, but like it's just oversaturation of this stuff that's out there.
It's juicy content, and it's cheap to make.
Yeah, it's cheap to make. It's mostly people just taking their phones or portable cameras and just shooting stuff and go, "What was that?"
Yeah, a lot of it is just like editing magic.
Yeah, yeah, and like it's something like this. Like, you want to study it from a scientific point of view to say, what is this phenomenon that's going on? Because there's some things you cannot explain.
Sure.
You absolutely cannot explain. And you want to study it from a scientific point of view, but you can't do it because of these TV shows. I understand they have to make money. This is something that they're passionate. Some of them they seem passionate about. Some of them it's just another con, another grift. But people don't take it seriously.
Yeah, and I think like bringing it back to the human component as well. Like, because some people who experience these things it's happening as a result of, like I said, like losing a loved one or some sort of trauma. Like, I don't know if you've heard stories of the people that have survived the tsunami in Japan.
Yeah.
there are hundreds, if not thousands, of reports of like ghost sightings in Japan since the tsunami. Like that's a I don't want to say like a coping mechanism, but it kind of sort of can be like people dealing with this terrible trauma that half the country fucking lived through. So um it's tough to bring scientific merit when it when the story is so personal for people, and especially if there's trauma involved. Um, so that makes it tougher to get back to what you're saying as well.
Right, right. But hey, this is what part of what Weekend Weird is all about. Looking at
Let's
the
explore, yeah.
explore, looking at the weird and mundane. So let's get into the story of Borley Rectory and its hauntings. Now, if you're unsure where Borley Rectory is, well, was, because it's no longer there, it's in England. Oh, jolly old England. It was described at one time as being the most haunted house in England. It was called by such by, at the time, famous psychic researcher and paranormal investigator Harry Price. We'll get into him a little later. It was built in 1962 to house,
1862.
excuse me, 1862, 1862, to house the rector of the parish of Borley, its church, and its family, because these are not Catholic priests; these are Anglican priests. English, the Church of England, I think, is what controls this church, and its family. So, if you're unsure where it is in England, it is in the what do they call it? The village of Borley. It's Borley Rectory, and Borley Rectory is in rural North Essex, England. It borders Suffolk,
Mm-hmm.
and it's located near the River Stour. Its closest town is Sudbury, Suffolk. So if you're a fan of English geometry or you're listening from England, yeah, that's where it is.
I have no idea where any of those places are. I've heard the name Essex and Suffolk, but I have no idea where they are in the country.
North.
Is
Like
it like
London is far south. Like London is right by the English Channel.
okay?
So like you head north. I think it's past here. Hold on, let me.
Is this like up in the country?
Yeah, it's a rural area
Okay.
of hold on, let me bring it up.
Okay. I mean,
Bring
no
us a
worries.
map.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no, it's a little bit south. It's north of London. It's north of London. Like North London is south on the English Channel, I believe, and it's north. Like because the England and Scotland, that main island is what was told to me about the size of Illinois. So like Chicago would be far north, so that'd be like Scotland. So go down towards the bottom of the state would be like one of them small towns in the southeast of Illinois. So try to give you that one, but yeah, it's north of London.
I see. Yeah, with our little little Yankee knowledge of England.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good to know.
yeah,
So it's out of the city. It is in the country a little bit, but it's
yeah,
not all the way up north. Okay.
yeah. It's not like close to the English Scotland border. So
By the way, not to complete tangent, but I just recently found out where the word Yankee comes from. Did you know this?
no.
So it comes from a nickname for like Jan, like John in Dutch.
Mm-hmm.
The name John. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like a nickname given to people with the name John, Jan, Yankee.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Dutch phrase or a nickname, I should say. And so that's sort of where it like first surfaced, and then it sort of made its way over to England and then to the United States. That's where Yankee comes from.
Oh, because It would sound like it would come from New Amsterdam.
Yeah, no, it's which makes sense. There were Dutch people living in New Amsterdam, obviously.
Yeah,
Um,
if people are not confused with New Amsterdam was the former name of New York.
you know,
Yeah.
where Jan Key comes from.
Oh, okay.
Just
Interesting.
little tangent, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This place is
No, no,
in.
no, no. This is learning. We're learning.
We are learning. This is
Yes.
informative.
Yes, this is very informative. Also, have to tell we're getting our sources for this story from multiple sources: Wikipedia, the Mysteries of Mind, Space and Time, Time Magazine, Essex News, and various other sources for this
Got it.
story.
Okay.
The rectory was a large Gothic style home that alleged to be haunted ever since it was built. There have been multiplied reports. Suddenly came in 1929 after the Daily Mirror published an account of a visit by paranormal researcher Harry Price, who wrote 2 books supporting the claims of paranormal activity.
What is a rector? I'm sorry. What is a rector?
A rector, let me make sure I have this correct.
Something with
It's a existential sense, a cleric who functions as an administrative leader in some Christian denominations.
Okay,
So pretty much the head pastor, head priest of a church.
So this house was his house.
His house. It was built by the church for the rector. So the lead priest and his family, since this is not a Catholic denomination, this is I believe, Anglican denomination, Church of England, I believe, denomination. So that means the head priest has a family. They're able to marry and have children. So this rectory, this large home, was built for them. So as long as they're in charge of the church, they can live in that home because that's their job, is to run the church.
Got it. Okay. All right.
Price's report prompted a formal study by the Society of Psychological Research, which rejected most of the sightings and either imagined or fabricated and cast doubt on Price's credibility. His claims are now generally discredited by ghost historians. However, neither the SPR, which we're shorting it up, report, nor the more recent biography of Price have quelled public interest in these stories, and new books and television documentaries continue to satisfy the public fascination with this rectory. A short program was commissioned by the BBC about the alleged allegations, which was broadcast in September 1956, was canceled owing to concerns about the possible legal action of one of the former residents of the home, Mary Ann Foster, who was a widow of the last rector to live in the house. In 1975, the BBC aired a program entitled The Ghost Hunters, which focused on the rectory and conducted several interviews with several psychic researchers, including Peter Underwood, who was at the time was a British author, parapsychiatrist, and broadcaster. Even one of the most famous at that point, living at that point. And also featured a late night psychic investigation of the church. So let's get into the history of this rectory. It was constructed on Hall Road near Borley Church in 1862 for the Reverend, get this guy's name, Henry Dawson Ellis Bull.
Oh, jeez.
Reverend Bull.
Henry Dawson Ellis Bull. Reverend Henry Dawson Ellis Bull.
Yeah, he moved in after it was completed a year later. The house replaced the earlier rectory on the site, which had been destroyed by a fire in 1841. It was eventually enlarged by the addition of the wing to house Bull's family, which included 14
children.
Fucking children.
My man lived up to his name.
Yeah, Bull.
He just spreading his all over the place.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. 14 fucking kids. Can you